everyone, and welcome to this next video from Small Victories by Johanna Basford on this obviously the mushroom page, and I'm using my Polychromos pencils. I'm going to be using them for the whole page. As I did explain before, I do have some conversion charts to help you if you don't have Polychromos, to show you what other alternative pencils you could use instead, and those are available in my Ko-fi shop. I'm just picking a colour. I'm going to start with the shell. I'm going to start with a walnut brown. We're going to do a stripe. I think it's quite fun. So every other one is going to start with this walnut brown. I'm just going to put a bit on each end, sort of fade it in a bit. We're going to do another colour after. Have two sort of brownish shades on the shell. I do like colouring snail shells. I don't know why, it seems a bit odd maybe, but I find them fun. Oh, I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm very well. I've had a nice day so far. I was, it's Saturday today, and I was shopping at the supermarket and chatting to the lady on the till. You know, she'll say, "How are you?" I say, "Good, how are you?" And she'll say she said she was having a good day because she'd had all nice customers so far. I said, "Oh, that's good." And she said, you know, I said, "Oh, surely they're not that bad." And she said, "Well, sometimes they do get the odd customer that can be not so nice, you know, maybe always complaining or saying something not so nice, you know." This is the bistre, which I'm going to use on the same segments, just going over what I've done, taking it much further towards the middle of the section like that. I want it to be obviously lighter in the middle, so that was good. She said there are certain customers that come in that are never very nice, and when you see them you think, "Oh, not them." And so, I've never worked in a supermarket, so I wouldn't know that feeling. But anyway, she I told her a quote that I had heard, which was fun. It was in a newsletter that I had on Friday. I'm recording this a long way in advance, so it's quite a long time ago, but it doesn't matter. And it said, it was a quote from Dolly Parton, and it said, if you come across someone without a smile, give them one of yours, something like that. If you find someone without a smile, give them one of yours. I thought it was really lovely, and I told her that, and she said, "Oh, I like that, I'm going to write it in my journal." You know, I think it's something really nice to remember, particularly for anyone, well, for anyone really, but if you're working in a customer-facing environment, then I think it can be it can get quite stressful. So I think if you think along those sorts of lines, that might be helpful. We're going to do our other segment in a lighter colour. We're going to start with a raw umber. So start with a much lighter brown, doing exactly the same thing again. But I always do try and remember to smile. I was saying to her actually that I have to remember, because my face, as I've got older, is sort of dropped a little bit, so my natural facial expression, the corners of my mouth turn down. Even though I'm not unhappy, it's just because of how my face is, and so I have to try and remember to force myself to smile. And I find actually when I'm posing for photographs and things, even when I think I'm smiling, I don't look like I am, because of this. The way the corners of my mouth don't really turn up, so I have to sort of really force it, or even laugh, to make it look like I'm smiling, and it's quite tricky. Your cheekbones can really ache, but it is worth the effort. But normally, I'm going to use the green gold for the other colour in this one. Normally when I'm out and about, I wouldn't just smile at people. I would usually say good morning or hello or hi or whatever. So then you're sort of being friendly anyway. But some people I don't talk to. It depends. You know, if they've got headphones on or if they don't look very approachable or something like that. But in our town, everyone is pretty friendly, which is nice. Most people. I mean, obviously not everybody, but most people, particularly in the daytime, weekdays when you see people around, you know, usually either sort of young parents or slightly older people, that sort of thing. So, you know, everyone's quite happy and friendly. Right, I'm going to go for some dark sepia now, because although we can see the shape of the shell a little bit, I want to just emphasize it more. So where these lines are, I'm really going to go over them with our dark sepia all the way around, and then just show you what I'm going to do a little bit on the outside, just a little extra, and we can really emphasize how this shell is shaped. You want it on both the inside and the outside of the curve. And what we can also do is do it on the very outside of the shell as well. Oops. Trying to find a good position for my arm without, I plonked it down on my book and I was a bit worried I'd curled the corner, but fortunately not. I wasn't as careless as I feared. So a little bit around the outside as well. And it's amazing what just that little bit can do to your shell. It now looks much more three-dimensional, which is rather fun, I think. Now, our little snail. I usually do my snails in grey. I think I'm going to start with a grey and then decide. They really are sort of grey, aren't they? So one grey 4, had to think then. And I'm just going to go over him in a light-ish layer and then have a little think. Now, I looked at this picture before I came on and had a giggle to myself because I thought, is this like snail snot? Is that what you call it? That's what I call it. The stuff that they sort of slide along on. I just call it snail snot. I'm sure that's not it. Imagine if it was its real name. I'm going to go around the edges a little bit, particularly under here. There'd be quite a bit of shade under this shell, particularly here because there's a little opening if you think about it where he goes inside. And I'm just going to go all around him. So I don't know what it's called, but that's what I wondered if it was. But then I looked at all the other pictures and they've all got it as well. So I think it's just the ground. So we'll have to decide. I'll decide how I want to do it. Let's do his eyes. Eyes on stalks. Imagine having eyes on stalks. That's got you thinking. Not necessarily. There, it's come out the top of his head. Imagine if you had eyes that popped out the top of your head on a stalk. We'd look like some sort of strange alien or someone wearing those, what they call those, are they called Deanie boppers or something, that you headband with those sort of balls on balls on a sort of spring. No, or dealie boppers? I can't remember what they're called. It's a long time since I had a pair. I did have a pair. Right, little mushrooms. I'm thinking if I do the stalks of the mushrooms in the same colour as our snail's body, then it will sort of tie it together a little bit. I like doing them grey anyway, so it just feels like the right thing to do. I must make sure though, somewhere on this page, I do one that isn't grey, you know, just to be a little bit different. Now what colour should we do the tops? I feel that we could do them lots of different colours, but I think that might just look a little bit strange. Now if they're attached to our snail, would they be the same colours as him? Or should we add some brightness? I'm just looking and thinking and wondering what to do. I am very tempted to go red, just because, why not? Yeah, I've got the deep red here in my hand. I'm going to be daring. It might look awful, although tomorrow's might be red. Does it matter? We're doing them independently, so it doesn't matter. Deep red. I'm going to try that. I'll try one and see how it looks. I could do them all different colours, but I'm not sure that that's going to look very good. Now, where's it going to be darker? Bottom and side, maybe? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I'm going to see them all the same. I think it will just make more sense. I quite like them in red. It works well with the browns, doesn't it? And what I might do is put some dots on them in white, just to make them look a little more interesting. Not that they're boring, but they're all the same colour at the moment. I say at the moment because I'm still deciding whether I put another colour in or not, but if I do, what and where and why? I shall leave you with those questions. Answers on a postcard. Now the ground, I am going to use the permanent green to give it a sharpen. It's quite blunt. God, they look almost fluorescent on the camera. I don't know how that screen brightness compares to a monitor though. It's always a bit tricky. Like when I take my photograph for the video, I fiddle with it slightly to try and make it look more like the original photograph, but of course that's just on my screen. It might look completely different on your screen. I try my best because I know that the it doesn't quite look right. Now I want a little bit of shadow under our snail. I think I'm going to use the sepia. Got that out already? Yeah, my favourite, the dark sepia. Now I'm going to do a little bit under each mushroom top, just at the top of the stem. I don't even know whether it's really going to show that much. It will show if the pencil, right, so there we go. Then under here, I don't want it mega dark, but I want it to notice. As you can see that he's casting a little bit of a shadow. There we go. Now, as I said, I'm going to put some dots. Now I'm going to use a slightly bigger jelly roll. I'm going to use the 8 rather than the 5. The 5's a bit small. Just put a few dots on. Some partly. Need to put them near the edge as well as on the main part, because they wouldn't just be, you know, on the bits that we could see. To put them on the edges, it makes it, you think that they're all over. Now I had thought about emphasising the white on here, but I think it's okay. I'm going to not bother with that. There we go. I also think I need to draw an eye on the snail, forgetting that these are the eyes. But I was thinking he needs one on his head, but of course he doesn't because he's already got some. Now those dots, you could take your dark sepia and go underneath them very slightly to just emphasise them. I saw Chris Cheng doing this the other day. Something that she did. It was a shine on a gemstone, and it was a bit that was drawn in on the picture. You know how sometimes Johanna, or it was a Hannah Carlson, actually draw in a little shine line sort of thing on on the gemstone. I'd drawn it in, and she put her pen on top of it, but then she I don't know if that worked really. Anyway, and then she went around it in a dark colour so that it stood out even more from the paper, which was quite interesting technique. So I've tried it there. I don't know if it's really worked, but anyway, it's a bit different, isn't it? But there we go. There is our little snail. He is so cute. So thank you, Johanna. Such a cute snail. I had a lot of fun with him. It's a shame it's finished, but it is. But yes, that's today's little mini video for you. Yes, come back tomorrow, and for the next one, hopefully, if I put these out in order, I should do, but you never know. Yeah, we've got that larger one. Large one, 2 littlies. What to do? I'll have a think before I start recording. But for now, oh, excuse me, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.